Peterborough's community radio station, Salam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Welcome to the Tech Factor, the only radio show where our desert island survival kit includes a Starlink dish, a smartphone, and Joel's espresso machine. I'm Akil, joined by Faze, who once tried to charge his phone with solar panels inside, and Joel, the only man who thinks a coffee grinder counts as an emergency tech. Buckle up, we've got gadgets, news, and geeky glory in tonight's quantum quiz, all between now and 9 p.m. How you doing, lads?
Awesome.
Very well. Very good.
Good. I told you I'll have some energy for the beginning, didn't I? I must have just got that from, I think, you're Bluetoothing it to me, Faze. Yeah, that's what's going on. You're Bluetoothing it to me. It's good to see you both. It feels like we haven't done this show for a while, so I'm hoping you've got all of your folders in check, gentlemen. So this evening, the subject matter, the topic that we've decided to discuss this evening in the first part of the show is: what 5 pieces of technology would you bring if stranded on a desert island? Let us know. You can comment on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitch, or you can comment on 07411 191 or you may want to speak to these two tech aficionados, but you can call us on 01733 602 133. I swear I say that too fast. Nevertheless, I'll start off with my number one item on the desert island disc. Sorry, desert island deck.
Ground rules?
Ground rules. Go for it.
There's electricity, yeah? So let's get past the fact that, we're going to be, lots of people would say, oh, desert island, you got no electricity, what tech you going to use? So, yeah, let's just pretend for a second
but we have got, because we've got some form of renewable electricity.
Solar powered.
So there's water,
that's all taken care of.
hydrogen,
water's taken care of.
wind, and solar. So there's 3. So that's the rules.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay, so I'll go first. Probably no surprise to anyone. I will have a Starlink internet terminal because it has global satellite coverage, works in remote areas. It's ideal for communication, maps, weather updates, and so on. That's me. Number 1. What's your number 1? Why are you laughing?
You'll find out in a minute. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So that's one. Are we doing all 5 in one go, or would you do one at a time?
Yeah, let's do one at a time.
All right. So go on, Joe.
Okay. So my first one was that.
I'm so worried.
Oh, gone already. My first one was an electric toothbrush.
Wow. Wow. So there's me. I'm thinking desert island. Oh, I know what I'm gonna need. Right. Oh, you're gonna need the internet. So I'll get started. Joe goes for a toothbrush.
Man,
oh my days.
Oral hygiene's important.
You don't get that.
Yeah, we get bad teeth, you can die, yeah?
Bro, listen.
Number 2 toothpaste.
Right? But there is nature's way of doing things as well. Okay, cool. So yours is a toothbrush. That is so funny. I'm crying in my head. Faisal, what's your number 1?
My number 1 was desalination water purifier.
That's actually quite good.
There you go.
Look at
survival.
See where we are.
Yeah.
See where we are. You've gone, oh, I know. I'll have a toothbrush. Okay, cool.
And also, to listeners, we have not talked about this.
Yeah, so
we're finding this all out. Our lists of, live.
Yeah. This is live. It's correct. Joel's right. We have not shared this.
That wasn't number 1 on my list, though.
Well, I just want you. Well, you're giving it now. Too late.
Yeah, I know.
You better reorder quickly.
No, they weren't in any particular
All right,
order.
cool. Well, we'll just take it then. Yeah. All right, so my number 2.
Number 1, yeah.
My number 2 is a smartphone. Not a phone, a smartphone. An all-in-one camera, GPS communication device with offline apps and survival guides preloaded, and it also has the ability to be solar charged and remain usable.
And if you've got Starlink, then it's not just going to be a brick. You're actually going to be able to connect to it and
see, logical thinking,
stream.
And your turn now, Julie.
Get on LinkedIn or whatever. So you actually read my mind earlier when you were doing the intro, because my number 2 is an espresso machine.
Oh my god! Wow. So I get it now. Why you were saying, there has to be electricity. You'd be finished. Mind you, I have no access to the internet as well.
The solar power station thing is number 1 then.
Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. So I've gone Starlink, smartphone. You've gone toothbrush, espresso machine. You've gone desalination machine, and then the second item.
It's a BioLite camp stove.
This is good.
Yeah. So basically, with that, you can cook on wood, and it generates electric.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Wow. Okay. So you can cook on. That generates electric.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. I like what I've discovered so far is that me and you're going to hang about a bit together because we've both got systems that are going to be useful. We'll then see him brushing his teeth and getting his coffee ready, saying, "Lads, do you want a coffee?"
I'm my feet are in the splashing waves.
Yeah,
Toothbrush in mouth.
absolutely
Coffee
fantastic.
on brew.
Coffee, yeah, that's it. I love this. This is where I'm missing Sham because he would have said something wild, I reckon. Okay, so my number 3 item is a solar power bank or a portable solar generator. So the idea is something like a Goal Zero or an Anchor Powerhouse device. Essentially keeps all of our gear running sustainably. That would be my 3rd device.
Nice.
So that's Starlink sorted, smartphone sorted, his desalination machine sorted, his camp stove thing sorted, your electric brush and your espresso machine all sorted.
Yeah, the 3 of us, if we're all there together, we're having a time, aren't we?
This is quite impressive, actually, in terms of how we'd survive. So, okay, your turn now.
And how we sort of interpreted what's going on. So my number 3, this one's a little bit
sensible.
Yeah, I suppose so. From maybe a survivalist point of view. So this is a little bit less lavish, but I've gone for 3D printer.
On a desert island.
Yeah, so we can make
on a desert island.
Build a house.
On a desert island. Okay, I get the use case.
We could, but maybe one of the house ones. Have you seen the house ones that they build houses out of concrete?
Yeah, I've
finished.
seen that.
Look, I get the use case and we can discuss that. But you've sat all this time for, I'm going to build a desert island. I need a 3D printer. I'm going to connect it to my espresso machine, are you?
Yeah, and then using your Starlink and your smartphone, we're going to then sell some stuff on Etsy with it.
Wait, so just so we know where we're going with this, using my smartphone connected to your 3D printer, what's the first thing you're going to make?
A house.
A house.
Plastic nails. I don't know.
You'd make a house. Okay. Wow. What would you make with Joel's
a boat and escape
3D printer on a deserted island?
Spear.
Spearhead, yeah. Love it. Arrowheads.
Logic. Always logic.
It's a man.
Hey, so you know what you should be saying to him right now?
Yeah.
You need people like me.
I need his toothbrush.
You need his toothbrush. This has become brilliant. Okay, so what's your number 3?
Then I went down the route of portable power station, solar charger thing. Yeah.
So now we've got 2 of those.
Yeah.
Being Asian, we're probably going to open up a corner shop somewhere now. Yeah, this is brilliant. So my number 4 is an e-reader. A long battery life with thousands of books, offline survival manuals, and fiction stuff to stay sane.
See, that's pretty good. And not a million miles away from my last choice, which we'll get to. But yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so picture the scene, okay? So we're all 3 of us on this deserted island. Faze is connected to Starlink using my smartphone, and he's probably looking at something he wants. While you're shouting at him saying, "Oh, can you make me something with my 3D printer?" While you're brushing your teeth, and I was getting coffee. So this is the scene. Then I pull out my e-reader and say, "Lads, I'm busy for the next hour." Oh, what are you reading?
What are you reading?
I'm reading stuff that's got pictures in it.
Desert Island for Dummies.
Desert Island for Dummies. That's what I'm reading.
Survival for Dummies.
Survival for Dummies. That's what I'm reading. Then I'm looking at you 2 thinking, yeah, got it. Why did we get that? Well, oh, that's what it would be. So what's your number 4?
A fridge freezer.
Finally, something sensible. But on the deserted island, your items are wild. How have you gone? Toothbrush, coffee machine,
3D printer,
then fridge freezer.
Well, I started thinking a bit more practical sort of survival scenario at that point. And I like cold drink.
That's it. A Wi-Fi connected fridge freezer.
If we caught any fish, we could freeze them and have them later.
That's it, innit?
That's good. All right, so, okay. What if it's more than just fish, though? What if we've got, different types of animals? You've got your 3D spear now.
Mm-hmm.
You can launch it.
Yeah.
And then we're taking out something pretty big, like a mammal of some description. And then we just get Julio Chopis over here to butcher it and put it in the fridge.
With my 3D printed knife set.
Yeah.
Which we can put into a block of wood and fridge freezer it, and we're away.
Mm-hmm. So far, I'm thinking we're going to be a little bit of trouble, but we'll see how it goes. And what's your number 4?
Then I've got a mesh Wi-Fi with Starlink.
See,
See, thinking the same thing.
see.
Gotta be
Because
connected.
we've doubled up on on the solar battery stuff and on the Starlink, and he's got a mesh system which I didn't go for. We could literally cover this entire deserted island, hoping it's quite big, where we have no. Are you ready for it? No dead spots.
You never know, you might go into a cave or something and you don't have the direct connection to Starlink, so you need some sort of Wi-Fi.
It definitely sounds like we don't want to leave the island. We're clearly not there to be rescued, are we? Because
we're not.
we could just use our Starlink and say, come and get me.
Yeah.
Correct.
Order an Uber
it.
boat to come and get us.
So it's interesting because you know my number five. My number five is a portable desalination device. Something like Quency turns seawater into drinkable water. No electricity required. Now
Nice.
I've just realised me and you've gone very similar. So we can live on other ends of the island.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. He's happy because he's away from me.
That's it.
Yeah. What have you got number 5, Joel?
An original 1980s Game Boy with all the games. The one with the green and black, like, matrix screen. A bit like your e-reader, but it's a Game Boy.
I'm saying wow in the context of, are you ready for it? We've gone from electric toothbrush to an espresso machine to a 3D printer
Yep.
to a fridge freezer
Yep.
and then a Game Boy.
Yeah. I've got fond memories of my Game Boy, you know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if we weren't with you, you'd be in big trouble on this deserted island. I'll tell you this now.
Playing Game Boy.
That's why I wanted to get in there quick with some ground rules. It's already got power on this
It's
island.
got power. Yeah, okay.
I could have been like more obvious and said like my gaming laptop and stuff, but then I thought, well,
Oh, let's go out there a bit. Let's go to the 80s.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's take that Game Boy on there.
Fantastic.
Wouldn't be able to play it in the dark, obviously. But
No, why not?
you can't see him, can you?
No, let's see. He might have something.
They're not backlit.
What's your number 5, mate?
Number 5 was one of them headlamps.
There's your Game Boy sorted.
Sorted.
So you've gone really logical, right? So I went. Let's just recap on here. So I've gone Starlink, smartphone. So I was surprised by the way about you two. None of you mentioned a smartphone. Smartphone, solar power bank of some description, or some sort of portable solar generator, e-reader, and a portable desalination device. But Faze didn't go for anything. You've gone Game Boy, I've gone e-reader, but you didn't go for anything that would occupy your mind.
I'd be busy catching food all day.
There you go. So he's going to be the fisherman.
No, I did think iPad. I mean, that's a kind of
Obvious
thing, isn't it? And yeah, Wi-Fi is a bit useless, isn't it?
So how long would we be on this deserted island for? That's the question.
Sounds like we're there for a while because
Yeah.
we've got it made, haven't we? With all
Yeah,
of
but
our-
I mean,
with all of our tech.
let's give it. Let's try and give it a figure. How many years are we talking?
10.
10 years.
Well, the reason that I didn't go for like laptop, iPad, smartphone is because just have a break from that kind of tech always being available, always being there. I'm on a desert island for a reason, but I'm on a desert island by myself. Well, maybe not if all three of us are there.
Together.
But I'm there to, unplug a little bit, but still have a few home comforts.
Yeah. So I've got that phone because I want to find a way home. What are you gonna do with your fridge?
Phone home.
What are you gonna do with your fridge?
No.
Okay, you can have the rules when no one can contact you.
In the morning, I'm having a coffee. In the afternoon, I'm having a cold beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the evening, I'm going to bed with a nice taste in mouth.
Okay. So and then
Wake up in
you
the
wake
morning.
up next to a sea bass.
Play some Game Boy.
Play some Game Boy, and then the Faze comes out. He's wearing some sort of outfit, and he walks out. Morning. What did you catch today then? I've got a few carps and a few bass and a few tuna. Right, and then you wake up. Oh, you could just pop them in my fridge. Just like that.
Because
You know what? I feel like we need to do this. I feel like we just need to do it. We need we need Sham because he'd have something else. I think he'd go like that Steve Irwin guy. He'd have some sort of wild stuff to help us.
It'd be more Bear Grylls, wouldn't it? He'd be like, I'd have a helicopter come pick me up every night and take me to a 5-star hotel. Just island hop.
Wow. Let me know what your thoughts are. Would you have had something similar to us? Did you have something different? Drop us a comment on the live stream. We would love to hear from you. So that's been an interesting experience. I think we can do this more often, where we're maybe not the deserted island, but seeing what kind of decisions we make when it comes to choosing your best tech or what you would use.
100%. Let's do it.
It's been a really, really good exercise. And of course, we've taken this from the Desert Island Discs, if you didn't know. But yeah, what would be your top 5? Or would you just have 5 things? Perhaps, what would you want to just carry in a backpack to a deserted island? That would take your fridge out, wouldn't it?
I had someone comment on LinkedIn and they said pizza maker.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite a good one. They also said coffee maker. They said as well some sort of like alert system that would send out like help signals and stuff like that if it was a like proper survival situation. So everyone's kind of thinking all kind of like similar sort of things to what we were.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say that, but we didn't go 3D printer and we didn't go fridge freezer.
I thought the 3D printer would be helpful.
Yeah, I think 3D printers are a good idea.
Yeah, the thing is,
create whatever you want.
Exactly, and because we would be alone for such a long time, we would be like, "Hey, do you think we should? Do you reckon we should make this?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not?" And then all of a sudden, whoever eventually comes to rescue us, let's say it's Donald Trump, and he turns up in Air Force One, and he can't land anywhere because we've built like the whole island with all these 3D printed items, like our own Lego version of Deserted Island.
I'd be like, I don't want rescuing. Just leave me alone.
It's because it's him.
No, because I'm having such a good time on my desert island with my coffee and my cold beers.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Plus, I knew that you guys would be all kind of like, more practical tech. So I knew I sort of second guessed that you guys would be like smartphone.
Okay.
Link.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing the party. You're bringing the basics.
We're bringing the basics. I do like that. So that means that we have to all do this together.
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
because
100%.
If I take those 5 things onto an island, I'm not going to do very well. If there's no, I haven't brought anything to create electricity. I'm just going to turn up with 5 random things and.
Can you imagine Faze, right? So because he hasn't got any technology to get him out there, he's going to be trying to wave at a helicopter above him instead of moving his hands, like he'd just be brushing his teeth.
That's it. Yeah.
Joe, looks like you're going to be left alone, mate. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to survive very well.
Great. Okay, that was an interesting a challenge, I'd say, that we had from Joel. It was good. I think we've learned quite a lot about each other there in that scenario. We know who's going to remain logical and who isn't going to remain logical. I think that's the main thing that we've learned from that. Moving on. There's been so many tech stories this week. I'm going to try and cover some of them. But it's been a really, really busy world in the tech industry. I think one of the things that really caught my eye, and obviously others who use Apple devices as well, where you have Apple launched at the WWDC 2025, again with its Apple Intelligence about local AI processing, personalized on-device Siri, and deep, once again, their chat integrations. But this is the interesting part. What they're saying now is Siri can now understand context. It will learn preferences. It will write the emails and edit the photos all on device, plus ChatGPT, making it more secure. And I remember I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, yeah, we've seen something similar to this before. But the way that it was shown off with the new UI and how much efforts they put into this, I thought, okay, well, I'm trying not to be that same sheep again. I'm trying not to believe in you and you're going to let me down again. You've still not made a revolutionary device. I mean, if you think about it, I remember last year when we were talking about the Apple Vision Pro, we were excited. It's just gone. No one's. I mean, it went into the medical industries. They haven't sold loads of them either. They haven't bought a version of it that the average Joe is going to be able to buy. When it comes to innovation, I feel like they're clearly working on something, but they're not releasing it fast enough, if that makes sense. And I would say, if you were to look at the 2 major technology companies in the world, Samsung and Apple, Samsung have absolutely nailed some of the really cool physical devices that have come out. And I think, aside from seeing what they were talking about from a software perspective, UI and capabilities, I was like, yeah, but It was just but. That's my feeling. You know me.
That's interesting.
Integrated in Apple ecosystem massively.
You're a big
so
Apple
is
fan,
Faze.
so
Yeah, I mean, there's a picture of me in 2007 in Peterborough City Centre. I've been one of the first people to buy the iPhone.
Sounds like you're quite lukewarm to the new proposal then.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it and I thought, okay, yeah, that would be quite cool. But really, what I was more concerned about was, okay, where's your new cutting-edge device?
Yeah.
Where is it? It's just not there. And I get what we're getting now is refined product of the previous. It's fine. I haven't got a problem with that. You're still charging us premium money for these devices. And, the competition is moving in a different direction. Are you going to come? I'm kind of hoping they do. And Apple's got this strategy about it. Comes to the market. Everyone will create something. They'll think, oh, okay, that's making money. Let's try and do this better. So we know this anyway, don't we?
Is that only going to be available on their flagship models as well?
No, it's only going to be available on if you've got that particular chip, which is in the 15 Pro upwards.
Yeah, so
yeah.
So it's going to be on the higher end models as well.
I think it's a normal 16 as well, though.
I think the normal 16 will get as well.
15 Pro
upwards.
Yeah.
You won't get the normal 15. I don't think.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But this is what's happening. Well, what's your thoughts on that, Faisal? I mean, you use Apple devices as well. I know we spoke length about Apple Vision Pro, but since then, really, when we look at mobile, when we look at the watch, when we look at the MacBook, when we look at the iPad, when we look at the HomePod, when we look at AirPods. Oh, okay, let's give AirPods a little bit of a pass here because they did release something epic last time around, which is where they can now be used as hearing aids if you get the AirPods Pro 2, which is awesome. I think that's really, really cool. But, going back to it a second, AirPods, iPads, iPhones, MacBooks, and then obviously the Mac range. Aside from talking about the chipset, which is the Apple Silicon, what goes through your mind when you're talking about Apple and it's evolving its product lines and things?
The thing is, Apple, the way I see them selling their products is it's about the brand. So it's not so much about the nitty-gritties of the tech. If you look at the way they design their boxes, there's some sort of cult following that they create. The way the boxes open. I don't know if you ever noticed how long they take. That's the addiction that they're giving their users. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, many have tried to duplicate that, but just not quite in the same special way as unboxing new Apple products.
Exactly.
They definitely lead there.
Exactly, and the way it's designed is a really clean, expensive look. It doesn't mean that the product's more expensive. It's just the way it's branded. So that's one side of it. The other side I find, or in my experience, is that it's really user-friendly. So if I'm doing certain things on my phone, I can then copy it and then paste it on my laptop, whereas previously it's just a rigmarole emailing yourself things. So I just feel that the way the devices work together is a lot easier. Like if I put my iPad next to my laptop, I can just move stuff across, with my trackpad on the laptop. I don't think you can do that on Samsung device. I don't know. Maybe you can.
I don't know. Yeah, let us know.
Maybe you can.
Maybe you can. Yeah, or if I'm taking a picture on my phone, I airdrop it straight on the laptop.
So, from your perspective, what you're saying is it's the user experience with Apple.
Yeah, I just find it seamless.
It is. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Yeah. There's absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. Even people who don't like Apple can't deny that, but it's just facts. Joel, what's your thoughts on this?
I think that previously with other Apple releases and stuff, we've seen it where they've claimed to have been sort of innovators leading forwards, but I don't think we've seen that so much recently. There seem to be more like followers that are trying to do something different almost for the sake of doing something different because they're Apple. And I'm not in that ecosphere. I'm not an Apple user. I've been an Android user for an awful long time. But
shame on you.
I know, but when you look at it and you just sort of think, oh yeah, well, I've had that feature already on my phone, or like you said, Samsung have come out with lots of different, like the
flip device.
Yeah, the flip devices with the screen, with the folding screens and stuff like that. Really trying to push the envelope in terms of like what the consumer market might want. And Apple's still essentially churning out the same block of rectangular glass, and you just think, yeah, minimal. What I'm trying to say is, I suppose you've got minimal gains at the end of the day with the next device and the next device.
So would you say that they've just effectively become so comfortable? They know they can, whatever they churn out, they are going to still sell hundreds of millions of iPhones. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I suppose some may argue that why try and break something that's sort of working? You know, nothing's required here. I think from our perspective, where we're hungry for new types of technology, they haven't released anything that's been so innovative.
No, I don't think
outside of that.
Yeah, I don't
headset.
think. I don't think that wearable tech either, outside of watches.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it taken off, even with the Meta sort of Ray-Ban collaboration and stuff like that.
Version 3 of that's out.
I think that, yeah, and I don't know.
I've actually been contemplating. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've been contemplating buying those glasses.
Ray-Ban.
Put prescription
Meta.
lens in them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Which can you buy them for me, Faze?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. Even if you look, previously I was an Android user. I remember, look at his face. But Samsung always pushed the boundaries first on tech, and Apple was always releasing something, and the next iteration was to improve on that previous release. And that's what they've done. If you look at the iPhone, it's not changed much in terms of appearance and hardware.
This is very true.
Yeah.
We'll pick this back up after this short break. Do stay tuned. You're listening to the Tech Factor live on Salam Radio 106.2 FM.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Fancy the true taste of Middle Eastern Kurdish food? Asia Restaurant gives you the unique fusion of flavours from Turkey, Iraq, Syria and Iran. Eat in at 5 Fitzwilliam Street, Peterborough, PE1 2RU. Or order through Just Eat, Uber Eats, or order through our website, asiarestaurant.co.uk. Call us on 01733 562 530. Asia Restaurant, the true taste of the Middle East.
बेहतरीन कीमतों में काबिले भरोसा टैक्सी। जी हाँ, अमार कैब से रोजमर्रा का सफर हुआ आसान। सिर्फ £3.99 से शुरू। हीथ्रो एयरपोर्ट के लिए £120, गेटविक £150, बर्मिंघम £92, लंदन स्टैनफोर्ड एंड लंदन लूटन के लिए £88। हम प्राइवेट स्कूल रन्स और एग्जीक्यूटिव बिजनेस क्लास ड्रॉप ऑफ्स भी देते हैं। बुकिंग बहुत आसान। हमारी वेबसाइट www.amarcabs.com पर जाएं, 01733555888 पर कॉल करें या हमारी ऐप डाउनलोड करें। iOS और एंड्रॉइड दोनों पर अवेलेबल है। चंद ही क्लिक्स में आपकी टैक्सी बुक हो जाएगी। आरामदेह और कम कीमत सफर की बेहतरीन चॉइस, अमार कैब्स।
It's healthy, nutritional and halal. It's the Lads, your first choice for burgers, pittas, wraps and flame grilled lamb chops and peri-peri chicken. Now with 5 fantastic new flavours, plus sides, grilled salads and milkshakes too. Open daily from 11:30 until 11 p.m. Call in at 15 Calgate in Peterborough. Order for collection online at thelads.co.uk or by calling Peterborough 562287 or place your Lads delivery order at ubereats.co.uk.
Gladcare is your community support centre, delivering services you need. Access free English classes for reading, writing, speaking and listening, or a computer course with CV writing, qualified immigration advice and more, including food parcels or supermarket vouchers. Gladcare can help. Also for free yoga and healthy you sessions and monthly coffee mornings with local GPs on site. 316 Gladstone Street and online at gladcare.org.uk. Call 01733 566 343.
There's simply a variety of choice at Chicken Valley, 318 Lincoln Road. And we don't just mean whether you dine in or order for takeaway or delivery. With halal dishes including peri-peri chicken, wings, strips and wraps, Korean burgers, sides, milkshakes and so much more. You'll have to experience Chicken Valley again and again and again. Open 11 a.m. until late, every day of the week. Order delivery via Just Eat, Uber or Food Hub. Or for collection, call Chicken Valley on 01733 564 053.
Moving house? Feeling overwhelmed? Boxes everywhere? Ivat Self-Storage can help. Our secure, clean and modern facility, Peterborough's preferred choice, gives you the extra space you need with 24/7 security and easy access. So instead of tripping over boxes, store them with us and breathe easy. Visit Ivat, spelt IVATT, selfstorage.co.uk today. because moving is hard enough.
At Cake Inn, all our cakes and slices are freshly baked for that delicious taste. At Cake Inn, we bake 100% vegetarian and halal eggless fresh cream cakes. Delicious flavoured cakes for birthdays and weddings, ceremonies and all other occasions, with free customised messages, even balloons and candles too. Order for delivery or collection from Cake Inn, 489 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PE, and your cake could be ready within 2 hours. Find out more and order online at cakeinn.co.uk or call 01733 496 584.
This is Salam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Welcome back to the Tech Factor. You're listening to us live on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. We've had a great discussion about our 5 tech choices if we were on a deserted island, and they were hilarious. I mean, me and Faze, we agreed on some things, which, you know, we'd need power, we'd need the internet, but our comrade here in the studio, Joel, decided he needs a fridge freezer, so it's hilarious. If you missed it, of course, you can catch up catch up on social media, just search YouTube or Facebook. Now, in this section, we're going to be covering the cool tech stories of the week. I'll kick this off. So ChatGPT in June this year launched voice mode. Okay, that was real-time voice conversations that was available to Plus users, and it feels like you're talking to a person, used for tutoring or emotional support or coding help. And I do know, I've spoken to a couple of people as well who said to me that they are that they speak to ChatGPT almost on a daily basis, and it does feel like you're speaking to a real person. And I thought, this can't be true. So I gave it a whirl. Yeah, it's true. It's true. There is context. There are pauses. There is not just data that's being given back to you, but the tone in which it's given to you. You know, and so I thought, let me just ask you a question which might be a little bit somber. And the tone was somber. Then I asked it a question which I thought would be quite funny, and it was a quite humorous conversation. I was thinking, okay, I feel like I'm fast forwarded to 2094.
The future is now.
The future is literally right now. And then I was like, okay, I need to calm down a little bit. But then I tested this purely based on the fact there were so many people saying, you need to give this a go. And now the fact that ChatGPT has launched this feature is only going to amplify and give more power to that language model, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. Just recently, I've been using Gemini quite a lot after the Google I/O, because I've been trying to get right under the bonnet of the changes with Gemini and stuff. And yeah, I've been quite impressed with that. But one thing I haven't done with that, which I have to confess, is I haven't got round to the speaking capabilities of it. So again, I don't know if that kind of behaviour is reflected in other models that are using sort of text to speech kind of algorithms and things like that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to give that a go with Gemini, see if the tone changes, to see if it tries to replicate kind of like empathy or emotion in any way with its tonal changes. So I'll give that a go.
It's coming, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And what you don't know is, so if you're watching us on the live stream, you'll notice, and Faze, don't move, where Faze is sitting right now, he's in front of the a ticker showing me some text, where the inside of his headset is just red, so he actually looks like he's part of, I don't know if you see it, Joel. Can you see it? So I don't know if he's part of like Darth Vader's army or something. I don't know if he's from the dark side. Honestly, I'm looking at you right now. This is hilarious. I'll try and show you.
Take a photo and
yeah,
later.
I think it's going to be even better if you actually saw this live. Look at that.
You're right, it is.
Wow.
What a thing to bring up.
It's just got to me.
All
I'm
right.
just expecting you to breathe funny now and just say, I'm your father. Nevertheless, over to you. Joel, what do you have?
So I want to open up with just incidental, just mention Gemini there, and I've been messing about with Gemini, so I thought I would impart some information about what I've learned about it. And the one thing that I've been sort of experimenting with the most is something that they call gems. Now, you can use Gemini to help you write your own gem, and what the gems are is they will fundamentally change how Gemini responds to you. So you can essentially, I've been creating some fun ones where basically it will call me and refer to me as Lord King every time. So you'll say hi and it'll say, oh, hello, Lord King, how can I help you today? And then I can also then say to it, well, I want you to reply in a certain type of language, simple language, more complex. I want you to only reply in 500 words and all this kind of stuff, yeah? You can then also say to it and things like, after you finish explaining, always close your comment with, would you like to know more, Lord King, and all this kind of stuff. So that's one fun one that I've been doing. But then there's been some other more serious ones that I've been doing. So as we prepare for this show and stuff, we obviously look at a lot of articles and we do a lot of research before coming up with these cool stories. And I've also written a gem that's going to help me with that. So you kind of go to the gem creator and you put in like essentially what you want to try to achieve, and then you kind of hit the magic wand and Gemini comes up with a full essentially prompt for you, which talks about language, it talks about what context you want to include, how long it should be, what tone it should have, and all this kind of stuff. Then it gives you an option to test it live, so you can test it and make changes as you go to get the right output. Absolutely love it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
You can do similar things with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT does have the marketplace, like with my GPTs, where people have already designed their own behaviors. So that, there's certain behaviors that will help you code, certain behaviors that will help you write, and all that kind of stuff. But on the Gemini one platform at the moment, there's not a great deal of community support, but there is a lot of self-support with that kind of stuff, and you can end up changing the entire, if you don't like the default behaviors, what I'm saying is you can completely change it to help you. So again, I'm sort of using it in professional capacity. I've got gems that will help me, in a professional capacity, and ones for like sorting out this show, plus fun ones. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to impart in my first opening story, is just
that's really, really cool.
Have a look at Gemini, have a look at the gems, and play about.
I've done something similar with ChatGPT. I've got 3 different GPT set. One's for personal tasks.
Yeah.
Then I've got one for my work emails, and then there's another property type business I'm in. So I've got different tasks, so it behaves in different ways. So what I'm actually doing at the moment is feeding back. For example, when it generates an email for me, I'll change it into my own tone, and then I'll feed it back to it, saying in future, use this.
Good. Yeah.
So over time, it should start responding in my way. So if I'm asking it to draft an email, then it will respond in my way for
Faze
work.
GPT.
Faze GPT, yeah.
And the great thing about it is you don't, once you've set that GPT, that personal GPT or that personal gem, you then don't have to remind it every single time, I'll pretend to be a top chef and, come up with a recipe for blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You can, if you've got all of that preset, you can just click on your recipe creating gem or GPT and just tell it what ingredients you've got, and it will produce exactly what you want it to, the first time, in terms of, method and, using grams instead of ounces, or grams instead of cups, and all that kind of stuff. So again, you can be really specific with it and completely change the behavior of the LLMs, from its default setting to whatever you want.
It's really, really useful. Yeah, no doubt. I'm just checking social. We've got some comments on the live stream. We've got Sham, who's obviously watching us. Hello, mate. He says, love the new tash, Joel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sham.
He's taking this to that deserted island with the fridge freezer, which is hilarious. And he also says, where is the Apple foldable phone, car, etc.? Good question. Well, let's ask Tim next time he's available. Faze.
The one I've got is a bit of probably, it depends which way you look at it. It's either somber or joyous. Adverts are going to appear in WhatsApp. So I don't know which. If you're a user, you won't like it. But if you're a product supplier or business owner or a corporate
target market,
yeah.
So if you're looking from that perspective, you're right. Yeah. If you're looking from Meta's perspective, this should have had adverts in it a long time ago. From Meta's perspective,
I'm surprised it's not been there already. Yeah, it's still free.
I mean, I don't use like for example, they've put in stories and all those type of things from social media. They've been slowly adding those in WhatsApp. But me personally, I just use it for messaging. There's few groups I'm in. But I don't know.
few thousand.
A few thousand, yeah. I mean, I was looking at earlier on, I've got 900 unread messages. You just can't keep up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the more stuff you're going to have in it, the more groups you're in, more adverts. I think I'll probably end up moving away from it if I could.
Interesting. So see, I don't know that side. I use WhatsApp, but I just use it to, message my mum and, friends and stuff like that. So it sounds like that it's also turning into more of a social media platform with larger groups and things like that.
But it is already, Joel.
Yeah.
It's already its own social media platform.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got instant, for example, you're in groups for various different things. We've got the radio group, we've got groups for, other things that we're involved with, or friends or family. There's multiple groups with the same set of friends as well. And how do you keep up with all of that? I feel like it's turning into information overload.
So then put adverts in the mix of that as well.
Exactly.
I mean, it just gets to the point where you just get sick of being sold at, don't you? So.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let us know what are your thoughts on WhatsApp adding adverts to their platform. Let us know. 07411191062. A comment on the live stream. Okay, my turn. This is something I'm personally exploring. So, Meta Glasses version 3 launched in May 2025. It's a lighter, more powerful device with gesture input and ChatGPT integration. Look at that. It can read text, translate languages, take calls, all hands-free. And I've been looking to upgrade my glasses, and not that I need loads more, but I was looking at this. I was like, well, let me look at this. So you can buy these version 3s, and they can go to Meta themselves, another organisation. Just give you a prescription, and then depending on what you want to do with those glasses, whether you can have them clear or transitions or whatever, and they're not cheap, and then you've got them. You'll be wearing them all the time.
I think they are the best looking smart eyewear that have come out.
Well, it's Ray-Ban, isn't it? So,
they're just classic. That classic Ray-Ban frame. I'd happily wear them. Would I find them useful? I don't know.
I'm telling you, I would. If you're someone who uses social media,
go out and about.
I think they were talking about Oakleys as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So as well as Ray-Ban, there's Oakley, so it's more sporty version.
I'm telling you, Joel, if you use social media in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, and I think if you're travelling internationally,
mate.
Whether it's for work or you do a lot of travelling, I can see massive advantages with that kind of tech.
So straight off the bat, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Meta's trying to get everywhere.
I'm not surprised. Oakley, I'm not surprised that they're getting in on it.
So the question here is, would you wear glasses as well, don't you, Faze?
Yeah, I do for driving and reading.
Okay. So the question I have for you, just yes or no, would you get these in a prescription version?
I'm tempted for driving.
Perfect. And you, Joel?
I think I would 10 years ago or 20 years ago when I was out and about more, doing more things, doing more travelling, more travelling from work and all that kind of stuff. I think at the moment, as I'm working from home, I'm not travelling a lot, I'm not going abroad and that kind of thing. So I don't think I immediately would, but that doesn't mean that I don't think the tech's actually super cool and I can see loads and loads of advantages from it.
So the question is, do you guys think I should get it?
I think for working from home it would be good. I don't know if these are capable, but in future versions it probably would. If it can display what's on your laptop or whatever, so you got it on the...
Why giving IPO secrets away? IP secrets away live on air?
They would have thought of this. I mean, it's more practical than headsets and Vision Pros and those type of things.
Yeah, of course, because you've got daily practice. Yeah, it's true, and it's a easier entry point as well from a price point as well, isn't it? Mark Zuckerberg, if you're listening, do get in touch. So I'm very seriously giving this thought, and I've actually done plenty of research. I found the 2 retailers who could do it. I want to get my eye tested. I want to make sure if I'm going to spend this much money, the eye test is up to date. Okay,
I'm completely ignorant to the pricing of what pricing.
I think the glasses alone are about £400. And then to get your prescription, you're probably looking at another £100. So I reckon, depending on what type of lens you get, you're probably looking at about a monkey, £500.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, same with the Oakleys. They're similar price. But they're coming out in July.
You could spend that on a pair of Ray-Bans or Oakleys anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I thought there was going to be like another zero on that. No. That seems to be incredible value.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
sure.
a set of Ray-Ban frames, not just a set of Ray-Ban frames, but with a bunch of smart tech and cameras built into it and stuff.
100%. And
that doesn't seem like a lot at all.
No, I agree with you. And again, going back to what Faze was saying, Oakley are doing the same. They're doing a performance AI version of them. They look really, really cool as well. I think we're going to see, even as the price comes down more on these things, we're going to see people buying these things.
Are they really that? I'm shocked.
Well, while we're live on air,
they're definitely that price.
Really, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that is genuinely crazy. When you think about the leading Apple Watch, you know what?
£750.
£750.
Yeah, and also these Oakleys, they're coming up with additional models. They'll start. It says $400 later on in the summer, so there'll be cost-effective versions as well.
Yeah, so I can tell you while we're live on air right now that the Ray-Ban Meta Wayfarer starts off at $379.
And then you just got to put your prescription lenses. Yeah, prescription lenses aren't very much, are they?
No, but then the thing is, what you'd want to do, and certainly I would as well, is I'd use transition lens because then I can wear this all the time.
Yeah, I think transition lens makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, that's me. We move on. Wow. And thanks for certifying, gentlemen, that I should get this. So I'll just use that as an excuse when all this money comes out. My account. So moving on. Joe, what you got next?
So, staying with the sort of desert island side of things and the sea, and one of the big issues...
Don't say George Foreman.
No, George Foreman. Oh, I should have thought of that.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
Oh man,
that would have been great.
Yeah.
Instead of a 3D printer, I should have gone for a Foreman grill. That would have been good. So one of the big issues at the moment the world is facing is obviously plastics and microplastics within the within the world's oceans. And there is a Japanese led science discovery. They are claiming that they have a new type of plastic that dissolves completely in seawater within hours and leaves no microplastic residue. Its composition is mainly made of 2 ionic monomers, and it forms like a salt bridge and strength and flexibility. So basically, it just disintegrates into kind of a salty solution.
Wow.
And not in hundreds or millions of years, thousands of years, it's within a few hours. So that's pretty
impressive. Good. That's a very good story. What have you got?
I've got China has made a groundbreaking achievement in space exploration, and they've successfully fired a laser at a satellite orbiting the moon.
Wow.
Now, you might think, are they trying to blast something? But
well, I mean, given the fact that you've got the dark side halo on your head today, and you've come out with that blasting story.
No, the real practical applications are communication. So you can use lasers for communicating or sending data or whatever. So this could practically, for example, deep space exploration or communicating, with devices, or you launch something onto Mars, for example. You could communicate. You could have a number of points, and then you've got direct communication.
Wow!
So, and you're talking a lot less latency than using radio wave.
Exactly.
I don't know what the latency is to the moon and back, but it,
okay, let's take a guess. So I'm going to go for 20 seconds.
I would say it's at least that on radio, and if you wanted to communicate, there would be some sort of delay, wouldn't there? Yeah. But if you think about it, we're already using light to send data and comms, through optical fibre. Yeah. That's all that's in that is essentially light, although not strictly a laser, I don't think. But that's really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Well done.
Fast intergalactic comms.
Absolutely. And Joel?
So I have got my next one's going to be about plastic as well. We're on a bit of a plastic theme at the moment. Let me just find it. So we've got Japanese are looking into plastics that are dissolving in salt water and leaving no microplastics around. There is another groundbreaking study produced that they basically found a common hospital superdrug can actually degrade and metabolize biodegradable plastics used in medical devices and things like that, so stents and implants and things like that. So what this means is the discovery of this there's been a long-held belief that the medical-grade plastics were resistant to this kind of degradation within the body, but there's actually something that they found in the body that is capable of destroying these plastics as well. So they are looking at using that to obviously then clear up other plastic waste as well.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay, and a quick one, please, Faze.
Quick one is Disney sues Midjourney over images that are being used. So, for example, you've got characters like Darth Vader and from Star Wars, and Frozen's Elsa, Minions from Despicable Me. And what they're saying is that these images are exactly like what appear in movies. So when people are creating these prompts, it's generating exactly those images. So it's interesting to see, or it will be interesting to see what comes of this.
Yeah, because I mean that's a huge area, isn't it? IP. Wow. Okay, thank you very much for that, gentlemen. Okay, Joel, can you get a stopwatch up? So it's now time for the segment where Faisal and Joel abandon their friendship for eternal bragging rights. It's time for the Quantum Quiz!
Quantum quiz.
Quantum quiz!
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 ding. Okay, so that's the jingle. Although I'm convinced it's never the same every time we do this. Okay, so the rules are it's 1 minute each, 10 questions per round. No phones, no AI cheating. You can play along via social media as well. And I'm going to start off with Faze. Have we got a minute of there? Here we go. Joel, I can see it's just a minute. I'm sure we'll get through these quite quickly. Go. What does RAM stand for?
Random access memory.
What company created the first iPhone processor chip?
Intel.
Wrong.
Oh.
Samsung.
Samsung. Okay.
Yes. Which tech company owns GitHub?
Microsoft.
Correct. What year was Google founded?
1998.
Correct. Wow, I thought you was going to get that wrong. Which game engine powers Fortnite?
Unreal.
Yes, correct. What's the shortcut to paste on Mac?
Command C. No, sorry, Command V.
Command plus V.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. What? I'll give you that though. Yeah, I'll give you that. What is Moore's law about?
It's about how technology will reduce in size at a certain rate, or speed up at a certain rate.
Yeah. Okay, but what it actually is transistor doubling every 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to question 7, and you got 1 wrong. So you got 6 points.
You did really well.
Okay.
I thought you did well.
I don't know. We'll see.
You look stressed out.
Ask me the same questions.
Oh man! Can you get
at least the questions weren't as crazy as the last
No!
one.
Come on, that was I had to do that. I had to bring some order into this place.
That was good. All right, okay.
I can do it again if you want.
That's fine. Who's going to do it? I don't really care. Let Faze do it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
And go. What does SSD stand for?
Solid state drive.
Yeah. Who created Linux?
That penguin guy. I don't know.
Don't know. It's Linus Torvalds.
Okay.
Okay, cool. What device replaced the iPod?
If I replace the iPod. The iPhone.
Correct. What popular app was originally a short music video platform called musical.li?
Short music. TikTok.
Correct. Who owns LinkedIn?
I can't remember.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
What's the standard unit for measuring digital image resolution?
Megapixels.
Ooh, it's pixels. I'll give it to you, pixels. What does DNS stand for?
Dynamic name server.
Wrong. Domain name
name
system.
Last time.
Okay, so 7 questions, 2 wrong, 5. You got 6. You win. Well done, Faze.
Oh, thank you. What's the prize?
What's the prize? The prize is you get to get 1 shelf access in his fridge freezer on a deserted island.
Sounds like a cool idea. Yeah.
I also thought of Microsoft, but didn't say it. That was silly. I thought it was Microsoft, but it didn't seem right to say it.
Some of those questions were like it was obvious. And you're like, oh, that sounds like it's going to be too easy.
Yeah, especially because we had the Microsoft one for in the other questioning.
GitHub.
Correct. Yeah,
The
the
GitHub,
GitHub.
yeah.
Yeah. There was a few left, so if whoever wants to jump in and answer this, you can, because we've got some time now. So, which planet did NASA's Perseverance rover land on?
What?
Correct. What company makes the Pixel phone?
Google.
What does HTTP stand for?
Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
Look at that.
I know.
Right? And then the last on the other side is, what is the world's most downloaded app as of 2025?
What's up?
Wrong.
TikTok.
Wow.
Really?
TikTok, yeah.
Wow.
What's the term for a fake email used to trick users?
Spam.
Wrong.
Phishing.
Cyber guy took 2 attempts to answer that question. Wow. What year did Windows 10 release?
2009.
Incorrect.
2015.
Correct. Wow. I don't know what to say. I mean, I've got Joel in the building, his cyber guy, and he got, I mean, it took 2 attempts to answer that. So anyway, nevertheless, you won.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which means that I'm going to have to make this slightly tougher next time round. Just slightly, but not like there was last time, because I couldn't even control myself. Even now people say to me, how did you get through that? I go, I don't know how I got through it, but we just did. It's just one of those ones, wasn't it? So this evening it's been an interesting show, actually. We've covered what our top 5 items or pieces of technology would be if we were stranding on a deserted island, and we didn't know that we were going to be together, but we quickly realized
It's a good idea.
that it was a good idea for us to survive. We would need each other, because actually we bought things that would complement each other, although Joel did go really far. I thought that was interesting, and Quantum Quiz was won by Faze indeed. So that's all for the Tech Factor. Whether you're downloading survival guides to your Kindle or yelling at Starlink because it won't stream Netflix in a hurricane, we salute you stranding tech choices. Congrats to tonight's Quantum Quiz champion Faisal. Joel and Faisal, depending on who wins next time round, I'm going to have to be thinking about how difficult these questions will be. So anyway, we'll be back next week with more bites, bots and banter. But until then, stay charged. Don't update your operating system mid-broadcast though.